Disney is not a style or a formula. It is the way you feel when you leave a Disney property. It is all about the feeling you get afterwards when you head home. It lingers like the smile you can't wipe off right away. Impossible to describe fully into words, but we all know the feeling. So does the entire world. They want more of that. Make sure you don't deny them the thing they came for. Give them that Disney feeling.
Well, you know what I love when we first started talking before we started recording, you were drinking out of a coffee mug that has a little to do with your history with Walt Disney World, and I'm hoping you'll talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah, Pocahontas. Well, that was my second feature. So I came in through animation, and I started as an artist as an in-betweener, which is pretty low rank on the animation scale. Then you become an assistant animator, then you become an animator, and then a supervising animator. So through my 41 years at the studio, I did go through all the animation levels to then become, I was asked on Oliver and Company well, I should even say, the Great Mouse Detective, I had Toby and Felicia, the dog and the cat, who were, of course, giant to the little mice characters. But I supervised those two characters. So I got to start supervising characters, designing characters, and working with Hendel Butoy, who was also supervising. And so John Musker and Ron Clements, were really good friends. And that was kind of my era, these guys, and all the animators of that era. And when I started in the studio, it had... John Lasseter had just been there, a year or so. So he was the fresh little assistant animator. Tim Burton was there as an assistant animator. And Tim and I we all became really good friends. Chris Buck, who's now, directing Frozen and just doing these epic features. And it was just I could tell because all my life I was on a military base or moving from town to town, state to state. But I finally found my tribe once I got into with these animators. They were just the most creative, witty, funny, inventive. They were into all the cool things, Oingo Boingo, or Pee Wee Herman was on the Sunset Strip, and they were all, every night you go there, let's go see Pee Wee, or Oingo Boingo's performing, and then Danny Elfman's doing this, and then the voices are coming in. Here's Michael Jackson. He came in one day, with his red leather suit, and it was just such an exciting and really fulfilling time for me. And I look back on it as just like the happiest years of my life, really. I mean, of course, children and my beautiful wife, Tammy, and now grandparents, it's all so wonderful. But I mean, there's something special when you're just free of ties and you're just finding a group of people that you connect with so completely. And they're such good people and they're so talented and you have so many fun trips. And like Tim Burton and I and Sue Mantle, at the time, Mantle, it's DeSico now, but the three of us would go down the Grand Canyon Rapids, Tim Burton on the Grand Canyon Rapids, and he would be wearing a white shirt and slacks, and he would be all dressed up because Tim wants to always be the opposite of what you expect. So, and we had such a fun trip. We'd go to Vegas, we'd go to Tahoe skiing and water skiing. Tim's very athletic. And so, I mean, I just wish, he's so busy these days, but ever since he became a director in live action, he's always been one film after another. So we connect every now and then. But I mean, can you imagine hanging with Tim Burton and John Lasseter and Daryl and Chris Buck and Mike Giammo, who's the art director of Frozen Pictures and Pocahontas? So, I mean, it's a stellar group of people that I got to hang with.
Yes, I can, because I'm hanging with the two of you right now, and this is blowing my mind. So thank you. I think that you had mentioned earlier on when we were talking about if ever doing a retirement speech and really what Disney is about. And I bet, and I would like you to read that for us if you don't mind. But before you do that, you're very humble. You haven't really come right out and said what you do. And I believe Oscars are involved and stuff like that too. So I want this claim to fame because your great grandchildren are possibly going to see this on YouTube one day.
Hey, look, there's great grandfather. Yeah. I'll give you a quick rundown of that. I started on Fox and the Hound as an animator. I went on to Black Cauldron as a full animator, and then I was on The Great Mouse Detective as a supervising animator, and then I went to I guess Oliver and Company was my big shot at being on stories. They asked me to be a story sketch. So now I'm in the story department doing little sketches, pinning them on a board and pitching them and creating the moments, with writers, but you really get freedom to create your moments. So creating the sequences, and then I on that picture, I also got to record the voice talents. I got to record Billy Joel and Adam Ryan, the little kid, and go to the recording sessions and with Cheech Mariner, he was Tito, and there's one line that I got to ad lib, and when we were recording, I came up with this thought of saying when they're looking for Georgette's house, looking for Oliver, and they're wondering where she's hiding this little kitten. We got to free Oliver. They think he's trapped in this mansion, but it's so beautiful to them that Tito says, "If this is torture, chain me to the wall." So I came up with that line. Cheech liked it, and we recorded it, and it gets a laugh. And every time I got a laugh, George Scribner, the director, would glance over at me and go, "God, yeah." So I did Oliver and Company was my leap towards story, and then I was asked after that film to direct Rescuers Down Under, and so I got to work with Hendel Butoy co-directing that. After that, I came up with the idea of Pocahontas because I was sort of thinking of a Western, and anyway, I ended up seeing a book on a shelf in my uncle's house saying Pocahontas, and I just go, bam, that's a movie. That's with all the mysticism and animism and the magical, belief systems, and you got a king, you've got the princess, and she saves the guy's life. And so I'm just like, this is going to be a great film. So it was a very, very rewarding to have your pitch become. I'll show you I've got the Art of Pocahontas here. So just as an easy, maybe you take a shot of it later, but this is the pitch. I got to pitch it at what's called there we go.
Beautiful. Oh.
So I basically came up with the idea of doing a one sheet the night before the pitch. It was called the Gong Show, where directors could come in and pitch to Michael Eisner, Jeffrey Katzenberg, and Roy Disney and Peter Schneider. So you pitch to them, and I just held up the one sheet and said, Walt Disney's Pocahontas, and I had one sentence that was a short sentence. And they just go, yeah, that's our Romeo and Juliet. That's a good idea. They kind of went with it. And I got the call the next day saying we're going to make it. So that was my second time directing, and worked with Eric Goldberg as a co-director. So that was great. It was a blessing.
Yeah, it really is. God has given you guys talents that it was beautiful to see that you were able to maximize it, and obviously have done very well. Tell us a little bit about what you were going to talk about on that retirement speech, about what you think Disney is about, if you don't mind. Yeah, I retired not quite 3 years ago, and I started writing down some thoughts on my reflection of Disney and what is Disney. And in case anyone asked me to make a speech, but I did a much smaller version, but I did reread it because I was going to come on this interview, and I thought, let me just reread what I had written down. So this is one part that I read that I thought, I still believe this, and I think it's true. That Disney, people that worked at Disney, Tom gets it, I'm sure I get it. What is Disney? What makes something feel like Disney? And especially when I was at WDI, and people are building hotels, resorts that are gorgeous, beautiful, best architects in the world. But the note they kept getting from Bob Iger or different people is, gee, but it doesn't feel Disney yet. So they really want to know what makes something Disney. So I wrote down this one section just for my retirement speech. Here's what I wrote. Disney is not a style or a formula. It is the way you feel when you leave a Disney property. It is all about the feeling you get afterwards when you head home. It lingers like the smile you can't wipe off your face right away. Impossible to describe fully into words, but we all know that feeling. So does the entire world. They want more of that. Make sure you don't deny them the thing they came for. Give them that Disney feeling. It's a good feeling. It is a good feeling.
And get it every time we'd come out of a movie, a Disney film, and I started at the studio, we'd get a Disney feature every Thursday night up in Walt's screening room up on the third floor. And every single time I came out, I would have this funny feeling, just like I would be glowing as I'm walking down the stairs at like 9 o'clock at night, and with the rest of the guys, the animation group. And I would just have this funny feeling, this glow, this sort of, it's like this Disney golden glow of just, you feel good. You feel it's like something very wholesome has happened. And it's more and more rare in this world. And by gosh, we gotta hang on to it and find a way to bring it back.
Oh, yes. I love that. That leads me to my other question. So Walt Disney 100-year anniversary, right? Walt Disney Company. So where do you think in the next 100 years, where's it going? Where's that going to be?
A Disney park in every state.
Yes. You shouldn't have given away the secret.
Oh, that's on my WDI wall. I forgot.
Oh. I do think the movies, there was an era of, just beautiful Pocahontas and, like you said, all that. And so my prayer is 100 years from now, that will continue. There will be beautiful stories like that, just like what you said, that you're glowing when you come out of it. And I just don't want that to be a lost art.
Well, it's always helpful to read Walt Disney quotes, and
yes,
he always, he gave a lot of clues. He says he tries to bring out the best in people when they come to see his films. And I did get to do, I guess I should mention, I did get to do the castle logo for the Disney for the Disney Studios. Yeah, that was my sort of crowning jewel of something fun I got to do out of nowhere. And I was asked what would I do? They were doing that blue castle, and that was just that flat blue and white thing. And they wanted to do it in CG. So it took me about a half an hour to come up with this idea of a star in the sky, because I was thinking, what is that? What is that sound? That's When You Wish Upon a Star. When you wish upon it, you almost forget what it's from Pinocchio. But when you wish upon a star, and we're not seeing a star, I thought, what is more classic Disney than a star? So I started on a star in the sky, the wishing star, to the flag, to the Disney family crest on the flag. Let the flag go, let the fireworks go off, boom, 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 and come down the river. But I wanted the castle to be on the waterfront. And I was using it as a journey. Everything was about a journey: ships, trains, cars, boats, and even I wanted carriages on the carriageway. So I wanted to fill it with travel and journeys. Each story is a journey. So I wanted to represent stories. And the only thing I had to argue for were the fireworks, because Oren Aviv was in charge at the time, and Dick Cook. And Oren didn't want the fireworks. He kind of wanted them out, but I had to fight for him, because I said, this is the moment, and every day at the parks, that everyone packs together. You're all on your own world and your own rides and experiencing things singularly. At the firework moment, everyone is one body. We are the Disney body. We're all one being, and everyone's shoulder to shoulder. Little kids are on your neck, and the fireworks are going off, and you're hearing the songs that you've loved being at the theater with your child, and that's the most magical feeling, is now experiencing it with all these other people, and it's like a massive theater experience, because everyone's feeling the same love for what this represents, the memories this represents. So it all comes waving over you like a tsunami. And that's what fireworks mean. They aren't just colored lights. This is the moment everyone feels so united as one Disney family. They go, okay, you'll keep them.
That's
and
true.
I did
The name Disney. The name Disney does mean family. I mean, that is,
yeah,
it's synonymous.
That's right.
Yeah,
it's a family thing. Yeah.
It is a family thing.
I adore Roy, and I loved working with him. He produced Lorenzo with me and Don Hahn, and so he's special to me. So he was a Trans-Pac yacht racer. He would have these yachts built and he would always have them in his office, little models, and he would be showing you the poly form. So he really cared, and he would pilot the ships across from San Diego area to Hawaii, Trans-Pac races, and he won a number of them. It was his passion. So as I'm doing the rivers in my logo with the castle, coming down to the castle, you'll see there's one river with sort of the old school schooner sailors. But there's the river that goes right under the castle is a different river. And if you look closely, it's barely there, but you can see a sailing ship. It's a yacht, and it's Pyewacket. It's Roy Disney's racing yacht called Pyewacket. I got the blueprints from it. Baker Bloodworth and I got the blueprints from Pyewacket, and we actually built the yacht. So I always wanted Roy Disney to have the company's back. You know, he's always back there with his yacht, and he's always got an eye on it, and he's always keeping us true on course. So see if you can spot it. The mast is pretty tall. You'll see it. It's not real super clear, but you'll see something back there. That is a full built CG replica of Roy Disney's racing yacht, because Roy's part of this company.
I've never even heard that story. That's good.
That is beautiful. I can't wait to see that.
Hey, Kim, one last thing. You know, when we moved out here, we're out in the Windermere area.
Yes.
And we hadn't seen Celebration yet. And once we started driving around, everyone says, "Oh, you got to see Celebration. You know, it's the greatest little town." You know, okay. So me and my wife went one day, and we're checking it out. And as soon as we went there, my first thing my wife says is like, I mean, she was just, "That's where I want to live. You know, I want that house right there." You know. So I was like, "Great. You know, we just moved in a week ago or whatever." But yeah, it is. Celebration really is the most beautiful town. The homes are gorgeous. It's like Mayberry, you know. It's unbelievable.
Well, you know, I had the honor of, when I worked for Disney, I did work with Michael Eisner for a period of time, and so Michael came back for the 25th anniversary of Celebration, because you know Disney built the town, and as you guys know, you know, Michael's going to say what Michael's going to say, and I couldn't ask you. And so the town asked me to bring him back in, and we did this big event. Maybe it was the 20th anniversary. Yeah. And he was so wonderful. He said that it was one of his best accomplishments. Wow. And yeah, you know, Jane, his wife, had actually named the town Celebration. And so it was really one of the first opportunities where it wasn't audio animatronic kind of stuff. It was real people, right? And how are people going to respond? And he was so glowing. And he got to see my daughter, who was 5 when we moved here. And she went through the school system the whole way. And he said, now I feel like it's very accomplished, because now at this point he could see a child. She was the youngest child at the school and went all the way through college, and that it was really a good thing. But I love Windermere too. Windermere.
No, yeah, it's a nice town. I have no complaints at all.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was beautiful. Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Just all the trees. I mean, it's just a special vibe there. It's so relaxing and spread out. I mean, at least in the area you're in, I mean, it's just heavenly. I mean,
for people coming out from California and moving out here, the one thing that catches you that you don't really realize until you get here is there's no visual landmarks ever to see out here. It's flat. So if I didn't have Waze, I would be lost 100% of the time. You got to have Waze. You got to have Waze as directions.
That's a very good point. Very good point. But no state income tax, guys. Come on into Florida. No state income tax.
Exactly. It's get a nice raise. It's good.
Right. That's right. Thank you guys so much.
Absolutely.
So glad you've done it. Yeah, thank you, Kim. You were great to talk with. And good to see Tom across the country.
Yeah, brothers.
You notice how Kim has this beautiful lighting on her camera, and then we've got these bright lights on our. The host always wants to look better than the guest. That's good.
You guys look awesome.
Nothing about the lights. It's just who she is.
She glows. Yeah.
Yes.
Bye, guys. Thanks so much.
All right. Thanks, Kim.
Bye-bye.
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 Make sure that you subscribe and like so that we can continue to give you up-to-date information on all things that are going around the 25-mile radius of Cinderella's castle, because this is truly a magical place to live.